So, good morning, all the students. Students, very first, let me congratulate all of you that you secured very good percentage and very good marks in class 8th. Student, you passed middle class and now you entered in the high school. It is one of the very important step of your life where you will face NCRT books which involves different type of activities during the study. So besides of talking more, again I am congratulating all of you and I am starting chemistry of class 9. I am starting with from the chapter number 2. It is what? Is matter around us pure? Student, when you used to go market, you have seen there the shopkeeper are writing that we are selling a pure milk, we are having a pure ghee. They are saying that here you will get the pure substance. So, what is the meaning of the term pure? Whenever we are observing that the shopkeeper is using the word pure, we get influenced by it and we are thinking that this is a good shop. But whether the meaning of pure is the similar also for science point of view, this we have to check. Student, I am showing you some substance. This is a soil. This is a magnesium ribbon, magnesium metal. This is copper tannings. Look at here, copper tannings. Here is copper cupric chloride substance. So different type of substances are there. Look at here, washing soda. You all know sodium carbonate. This is called what? Washing soda. This is a salt, NH4Cl, like NaCl salt. So different type of substances like ghee, like milk, like oil, which we are using for cooking purpose. So whether all these substances are pure or impure. So we have to check it first from the point of shopkeeper and from the point of chemist, that is chemistry. Student, actually milk and ghee, what the shopkeeper are saying are pure. It is pure in the point of view of them, but it is not pure from the point of view of chemistry. Actually milk is a mixture of many substances like fats, proteins, carbohydrates, water. Get it? Therefore, it is not a pure substance. Soil. Look at it, soil. It consists different type of minerals. Metals, clay, calcium oxide. So again, from the point of chemistry, it is not a pure substance. But look at here, copper. It is a copper metal. It is called a pure substance because it consists only one type of particle, thoroughly. Magnesium, it is a pure substance because all the atoms belongs only to same substance, same particles. That is what? Magnesium. Now look at CuCl2, copper chloride. Look at here, copper chloride. Now if I write its formula, it will become CuCl2. Cu is one substance, Cl is another substance. So is it pure or impure? So actually what? It is also pure substance. Why? Because now each and every particle of this chemical substance consists only one type of particle, which is CuCl2 only. Now there is no Cu, there is no Cl. The CuCl become one component CuCl2. So from the point of from the view of chemistry, it is what called pure substance. The copper is called pure substance. The magnesium is called pure substance, isn't it? So we can define what is pure substance. What is pure substance? Okay, so I have told you some definition of, some examples of what pure substance is. What? Pure substance consists of only one type of particle. Only one type of particles. Okay? Or we can also define it as a substance like what? Copper. We can call it what? Substance. A substance is a pure, and what did it say? Copper, single part of matter. Single form of matter. Single form of matter. Now we can give example. For example, say copper, iron, okay, magnesium, okay, metals. Magnesium metals. Student, you can see here only one type of particle is there. But if I write CuSO4, if I write CuCl2, if I write NaCl, if I write NH4Cl, now you can see here is only copper, only iron, only magnesium. But here two parts are there. Cu and SO4, Cu and Cl2, Na and Cl, here N, H and Cl. So are they also pure? Actually, yes. All of these substances are also pure. It is because they consist of only one type of particle. All the particles are having same characteristics. And the second most important thing is what? We cannot separate. We cannot separate the constituent. The constituents, okay, present in them by simple physical method. Simple physical method. That is what? That is chemically all particles have same characteristics or same nature. Therefore, we will say, although they made up of two different type of substances, but when chemically they combine with each other, they form one type of substance, and these components, which is called what? Constituents, cannot be separated by what? Physical method, by simple physical method. Okay, like if I dissolve NaCl, look at, or NH4Cl, what? NH4Cl, look at here. There is what? NH4Cl, okay? And it is dissolved in water. Look at, I am adding now water. And when I stir it properly, Look at it. Now you are unable to see where is NH4Cl and where is water. It becomes one component. But student, it can be separated by physical method. That is, if I evaporate, the water will evaporate and the NH4Cl will remains left behind, or NaCl or sugar will left behind. Okay, therefore it become now impure. But what about NaCl or sugar? On boiling, whether their constituent means Na and Cl will separate? No. Therefore, NaCl in itself is a pure, water in itself is a pure, but when the two are added, they becomes mixture. So we cannot say that it is what? Pure substance. Yes, student. Next one. What is a mixture? Okay. After study of pure substance and during the study of the definition of pure substance, I showed you some examples like soil, okay, like copper metal, like copper chloride type metal, and here we define the pure substances and the mixture. So, what is a mixture? A mixture is made by two or more type of pure substances. Pure substances. A mixture is made by two or more type of substances, or a mixture is having two or more type of pure substances. Okay, like earlier I dissolved here what? Salt and water. So it become what? Mixture. Soil, it consists different type of pure substances. That is many type of pure substances. So it becomes what? Mixture. Isn't it? Now student, how many type of mixtures are there? How many type of mixture. Okay, so let me show you one experiment regarding the type of mixture. For this, you can see here I have 4 beakers, 1, 2, 3 and 4 beakers. Okay, in these 4 beakers I am adding different type of substance like beaker A. Okay, in this beaker I am adding CuCl2. Look at here, CuCl2 in small amount, half spatula. Okay, in another beaker I am adding little larger quantity of CuCl2. Isn't it? In next beaker I am adding now what? CuCl2. Look at here, CuCl2 and what? Small pieces of chalk in it. Small pieces of chalk in it. Okay. Look at here. And in one more, now I am adding copper. Look at here. And I am adding what? Iron. Here about the iron. Okay. Now, let me add water in beaker A and B here. And equal amount of water. Here I am adding water of that amount. Okay. And in another beaker I am adding water of same amount. And let me stir it with the help of glass rod. Here is a glass rod. what you observe in beaker A and B. Look at it, beaker A and B. Now the added CuCl2, you are unable to see it, but what you find the differences, one is light blue in color and one is deep blue in color or little deep blue in color. Why? Because the quantity of CuCl2 is more, quantity is less, although the thoroughly CuCl2 distributed in the solution. This type of solution is called homogeneous. What it called? Homogeneous. When the two components which are added to make a mixture, okay, and they thoroughly distributed, okay, are present there, is called what? Homogeneous. But see here, I added what? Chalk and CuCl2. Can you separate it? Yes. Can you see? Something is looking white, something is looking what? Blue in color. Look at here, copper, okay, and magnesium. Here is a pieces of magnesium and iron. So we can separate copper by simple hand picking method. This is called heterogeneous mixture. So these two are called heterogeneous. Why heterogeneous? It is because the particles, that is the pure substances which were added earlier, can be separated by simple hand picking method. Therefore it is called mixture, called heterogeneous. That is the two components not thoroughly distributed. Here again the two components are not thoroughly distributed. So this is called what? Heterogeneous, and this is called what? Homogeneous. Okay. So now we can see here how many types of mixtures are there. So mixtures are of two types. First one is called what? Homogeneous. Okay. What is it? When two or more substances are added, two or more pure substance are added and they thoroughly distributed or they are in uniform composition. We can also call it what? Uniform composition. This is called what? Homogeneous. Now, what about heterogeneous? Hetero meaning what? Different. Homo means what? Same. Heterogeneous. So what? Two or more pure substances. Two or more substances which added, okay, can be seen by naked eye. Can be seen by naked eye. That is, we can see the particle and their composition are not uniform. Okay, and can be separated by what? Hand picking method. By hand picking method. So this is called what? Heterogeneous. Students, you should know the meaning of homo is same and the meaning of hetero is different. So what are homogeneous? When two or more pure substances are added and they thoroughly distributed Okay, and they are in uniform composition. Uniform composition means what? Now the water and the added substance, that is CuCl2, becomes one. Okay, all the property, even if you find any of the drop from any of the here, any of the part of the solution, it remains what? Same property. Look at all of these are blue in color. So this is called what? Uniform distribution. You can simply say what? Uniform distribution. Uniform distribution. Okay. So this is about homogeneous and heterogeneous. We will see some more activity in next. Yes, student, now I am going to perform another activity. With the help of this activity, you will be able to differentiate what are two solutions, colloid and suspension. That is, I will add two or more substances and then we will perform some activity, then we will get observation, and on the basis of observation, okay, we will find in which experiment we can form two solution, or we can obtain colloid, or we can obtain suspension. So, in first figure, in earlier activity, I told you that water is added with CuCl2. Okay, look at here. Even I can make it more dilute. Okay, it is highly concentrated, more dilute. See, now this is CuCl2 solution. So beaker number A. Beaker number B, similar quantity of water, and now I am adding to it starch powder. Student, do you know starch powder, which we are using for clothing purpose? Okay, clothing of clothes. This is what? Water and starch, and I am stirring it well. Here it is starch. Okay, and in third beaker, now I am adding water and here is the chalk powder, okay, which we are using for writing. Here is a chalk powder, and again stir this one very well. B and C. Okay. Now stir all these things. So I have four type of beakers. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can see here more deep blue color, lesser blue deep color. Okay. Now look at here. It is sometimes translucent, and look at here. This one is what? Opaque. Opaque why? Because the light cannot pass through it. So it is called what? Opaque. Light can pass but partially. This is called translucent. And from this solution, light can easily pass. So I am showing you how the activity. First one. See here. I am using what? Torch light. Can you see here? The light can pass very easily. Therefore, it is called solution or called true solution. Here is a starch solution. Look at it. Starch solution. Now, see the observation. Look at the observation. Is light passes? Okay? No. Actually, yes, but very partially. So, this is called what? Colloid. But look at here. The chalk powder. Here is the chalk powder. Look at it. Light cannot pass. It is because it is what? Opaque in nature. So we are having three type of substances. By adding two substances, substance A through which light passes without scattering. But here the light passes but some of the light is get scattered. This is called collide. And this one is what? This one is called what? Suspension, because it is what? Opaque in nature. Okay, we can find one more activity. Look at here. Keep it just above to your eye and look at its bottom place. See here, the bottom place. There is no settling down of CuCl2 particle. That is, CuCl2 is thoroughly distributed in the solvent. So this is called solution. That is, no settling down. Means the solution is stable in nature. Look at in the starch solution. Okay, very few particles settle down. It is because high quantity of starch is added. But you can see the movement of starch particle. Okay, that is, we can say settle down but very less. So again it is stable but heterogeneous, because particle can be seen by naked eye. And here what? The chalk particle, the big chalk particle can be seen easily by the naked eye. Look at here. The big particle can be seen by naked eye. This is called what? Suspension. So we can define now solution. The particle of solute is very small. Therefore we are unable to see by naked eye. Here what? Particles are big as compared to solution particle. Therefore we are able to see by naked eye, but here the particles are very big in nature. So on that basis we can define true solution, collide and suspension. So what is true solution? The particles are very small, less than 1 nanometer. In collide, particles are little big as compared to solution particle. That is, the size is 1 to 1000 nanometer. And in the suspension, the particles are so big that they are able to see very clearly by the naked eye. Okay? This one is homogeneous, this one is heterogeneous, this one is again heterogeneous. Students, I passes torch light. Okay? In torch light, when I pass, this is known as very important experiment. This experiment is known as Tyndall effect. So the Tyndall effect is not shown by true solution, but it is shown by collide. So what is Tyndall effect? When a beam of light is passes through the collide, the particles becomes visible. It is due to they scatter the light, because their particle size is little big. In suspension, again it shows what? Tyndall effect. Why? Because their particles are also very big in size, therefore they also shows Tyndall effect. So student, on the basis of this activity, experiment and the observation we get, you have to write the differences between true solution, collide and suspension. If you will be able to write the differences, then it's okay. Otherwise, I will give its writing and its notes to you. Thank you. But remember, very first you have to try to write differences between solution, collide and suspension. Let me repeat again. What is true solution and how can we differentiate them? On the basis of particle size, on the basis of Tyndall effect, on the basis of light passes through them, that is transparent, translucent or opaque, on the basis of settling down of particle. Okay, in the true solution, the particle do not settle down. Okay, and on the basis of stability. Okay, like true solution we are called stable, isn't it? So this will be the point of differences between these three. You have to write it and you have to show it in next class.